This is ABC 15 Mornings.
Now at 6, High Court nominee this morning, we are taking a closer look at how Arizona lawmakers are reacting to the president's Supreme Court pick.
And what started as a war of words is now headed to court. We're investigating the very latest fight over accommodations for voters here in Maricopa County.
Have you heard of them? They're called Jukebox Grounds. How this funky Mesa location is helping kids step out of their comfort zone and let loose on the dance floor. I am a major proponent of any kind of dance and self-expression, so this is one of my favorite stories of the weekend. We'll show it to you coming up in just a little bit, but first we want to say good morning to you on this Sunday. I'm Nohelani Graff.
And I'm Mark Thompson, social distancing from home. And I'll do a little dance if we can get some rain in the forecast. No, hey, it's been so dry, man.
It certainly has. Unfortunately, you're going to have to keep your dancing shoes off to the side for that one because we don't have any rain in the forecast. But what we do have that is definitely worth dancing about are these cooler morning temperatures, and it is noticeably different this morning as you step out the door. Gorgeous view of the Papagos live in the background as that sun is getting ready to rise at 6:20 this morning. 70 degrees in Chandler right now, 71 in Glendale. We've got the mid-70s in Mesa and Avondale, even Phoenix dropping another degree at this hour as we get closer to sunrise, down to 77 degrees. It is so comfortable out there. Even if you're not ready to step out the door, at least open a window as you enjoy your coffee this morning and maybe take it out on the patio, because we're actually going to linger in the 70s for another couple hours here. A slower warm up today. It'll take us until 9 o'clock to even get into the 80s. So a great start to this Sunday fun day. I'll talk more about that high temperature that we will reach today because triple digits are still in the forecast. That's coming up in just a little bit.
Hey, thank you. Now to the battle over the Supreme Court as we inch closer to Election Day. President Trump has made his pick and the political battle now begins. ABC's Christine Sloan has the very latest.
Just hours after nominating federal judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court, President Trump touting his pick before a packed crowd in Pennsylvania.
Judge Barrett is a brilliant legal mind, an extraordinary scholar, you know that. #1 in her class. You know, the professor, one of the most respected people, he said the greatest student he's ever had. That's pretty good.
If confirmed, the 48-year-old would fill the seat of the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who died earlier this month amid a bitter election battle. During Saturday's Rose Garden ceremony, Judge Barrett, a devout Catholic who is anti-abortion and pro-Second Amendment, vowing to adhere to the Constitution.
Judges are not policymakers, and they must be resolute in setting aside any policy views they might hold.
A former law clerk to Justice Antonin Scalia, she's the president's third pick to the nation's highest court. Democrats are united in opposing her candidacy.
A vote for Amy Coney Barrett is a dagger aimed at the heart of the health care protections Americans so desperately need and want.
Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden also urging the Senate to not act until after the election. Sources tell ABC Senate hearings are expected to begin October 12th. And if confirmed, Judge Barrett could be on the court by Election Day. Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
And this morning, Arizona leaders are reacting to the president's decision. Senator Kyrsten Sinema's office releasing this statement, saying in part that she will carefully consider whether this nominee is professionally qualified, believes in the role of an independent judiciary, and can be trusted to faithfully interpret and uphold the rule of law. Meantime, Senator Martha McSally calling Barrett a highly qualified nominee, adding that after a thorough review of Judge Barrett's merits, the Senate should vote without delay on her nomination. Then Democratic candidate for Arizona Senate Mark Kelly blasting McSally's response, saying in part that Arizonans start voting in just a matter of days, and Senator McSally is trying to jam through a lifetime appointment for the Supreme Court justice. He went on to say that Arizona senators should be focused on helping Arizonans who are now struggling during the coronavirus pandemic.
This morning, Phoenix police are investigating an overnight shooting that happened near 40th Street and University Drive. So far, we haven't gotten a lot of information, but our crew on scene does tell us it looks like it happened outside of some sort of a nightclub that's in that area. We have reached out to police for more information, but we still haven't heard back, so we'll stay on top of them to get you more details. Also, right now, Mesa police are investigating a deadly shooting as well. This one happening last night near McDowell and Power Road. Mesa officers able to quickly find and arrest their suspect, though. We are working to learn more about that accused shooter, as well as the latest with the victim.
And an accused killer on the run this morning. Phoenix detectives desperately hoping someone recognizes this man. Investigators say that he shot and killed a man back in June near 40th and Roosevelt. Authorities just releasing this surveillance video of the apparent trigger man. If you have any information, you're urged to call Phoenix PD or Silent Witness. There is a cash reward.
This morning, police say the streets are safer after more than 100 violent criminals were locked up as part of a massive sting here in the Valley. U.S. Marshals teaming up with Valley Police for a weeks-long mission. And our ABC15's Adam Waltz shows us how they tracked down gang members and violent fugitives.
The operation seized cash, drugs, and weapons from more than 100 violent criminals who are now behind bars.
Drugs fuel all of this violence.
140 violent fugitives, 131 guns, and more than 3,000 counterfeit fentanyl pills off the streets, thanks to U.S. Marshal Operation Snake Eyes.
Focused directly into gang crime violence, which has been spiking recently ever since the COVID started.
Video showing many of the arrests over the 6-week period, law enforcement targeting high crime areas in the Valley.
There are several neighborhoods in South Phoenix, in West Phoenix, some in Tempe.
Two of the neighborhoods involved, 51st Avenue in McDowell and 73rd Avenue in Turney. ABC15's Crime Tracker heat maps showing the area of 51st Ave in McDowell from March of 2019 to March of 2020 is in fact a major hotspot for violent crimes.
We weren't after low-hanging fruit, and which we can do all day long. This operation was targeted to those individuals who we know are involved in violent crime.
Those arrested included Thomas Lee, associated with the Southern Bloods gang, and David Medina with the Mini Park Street Gang and Mexican Mafia prison gang.
Some of them are spin-offs of prison gangs and that are directly tied to prison gangs, and a lot of them are tied to the Sinaloa cartel that controls the Arizona-New Mexico border.
To give you a scale of this operation, Phoenix, Mesa, Glendale, and Tempe police departments, as well as the Department of Public Safety, Administration of Tobacco and Firearms, and U.S. Attorney's Office were all involved. In Phoenix, Adam Waltz, ABC15 Arizona.
Now to our wildfire watch this morning. The Sears fire forcing people from their homes and shutting down the Bartlett Lake area. Now it's burning on the Cave Creek Ranger District north of Carefree. It's already grown to 8,700 acres. It's still unclear what sparked the flames. So far, firefighters say that no one has been injured.
Now let's talk about that most accurate forecast. And as we look toward the end of monsoon, no rain in sight here in the valley. So no help for those firefighters in the way of moisture. The only help they're going to get is that the winds will stay relatively calm. But on the bright side, what that means is it is great car washing weather. Go ahead, wash that ride, because pretty soon here we're getting into those days where you are going to be ready to roll down the windows for longer periods of time and even take the top down. Not quite in the middle of the afternoon just yet, more in the morning hours. In the afternoon, it's now back to pool weather, and actually a little more comfortable to be in the water since we're not 115 degrees outside, and your pool water hopefully should feel a little cooler as well. 101 is that forecast high. So we're still hitting triple digits today. We're still above the average for this time of year. And we are still in a very high burn range with our UV index. So make sure you put on lots of sunscreen. Air quality is in the moderate range. We might see some haze move in a little later today from the western wildfires, but that is not going to affect our air quality here on the ground, staying in the moderate range. Sunny and dry, though, is that forecast with a high of 101. I'll show you the rest of the statewide forecast and where you can find even cooler temperatures coming up in just a little bit.
All right, no, hey, thank you. Coming up, decorated cars and trucks filling the streets of Tempe Saturday, showing love for those with Down syndrome in our community. We'll show you more on that wonderful event. And it's game day for the Cardinals, and for the first time this season, we're going to see some fans in the stands as the Cardinals try to go 3-0 to start the season as they match up against Detroit. More details next. Now to Tempe for a very special celebration for people with Down syndrome. The organization Sharing Down Syndrome of Arizona hosting the 21st annual Sharing Walk and first ever drive-through parade yesterday. The event was meant to promote positive acceptance and awareness for people with Down syndrome.
People with Down syndrome, a lot of people don't realize how much just happiness they can bring to everyone around them. Even though they can't talk very much, it just shows through for everyone to see.
Now, people and participants decorated their cars to honor the person or people that they love who have Down syndrome. The parade also featured a fire truck and a Batmobile, always a great hit with the kids.
We want to take a moment and give a very special thank you to everyone who turned out and donated a bike during our ABC15 Earnhardt Auto Center's Second Chance Bike Drive this weekend. Your donation is going to go to someone in need and give them help with transportation, the freedom that comes with that, and smiles for kids who will be given their very first bicycles. Now, if you didn't get a chance to donate, you do still have time to make a monetary donation by going to abc15.com/bike, and that money is going to go to St. Vincent de Paul in their efforts to fix up the bikes that were donated and provide helmets and other safety gear to everybody who needs them, including low-income families who are trying to get to work and school. So really great to see the Valley opening their hearts, their wallets, and their garages to help out families in need this weekend. We thank you for that.
Yeah, fantastic program, Nohe. I second those sentiments there. Well, today is your last chance to check out the Phoenix Zoo from the comfort of your own air-conditioned vehicle. The last Cruise the Zoo runs from 7 o'clock until noon. You must buy your tickets ahead of time. It's $65 per car or $50 for zoo members. And it's game day for the Arizona Cardinals. The team is hosting the Detroit Lions. Kickoff is at 1:25. There will be, for a change, some fans in the stands actually cheering on the Cardinals. The team getting the approval from the county and state to allow up to 750 in the stadium. There will be just room for immediate family members and close friends of the players and coaching staff, but it is a start, Nohe, to getting more fans in the stands.
Yeah, and doing so safely, that they're doing it, easing people in to see what they can take on safely. And pretty exciting for our players so that they get just a little bit of that home field advantage when they see all their loved ones up in the stands cheering them on, because that's who it really means the most for them to see. Now let's get into that most accurate forecast. Got to share some gorgeous views with you from around the state this morning as we kick off your Sunday. Live view of the Papagos, and you can see just a few clouds in the background, high thin clouds. They're making for some beautiful colors as the sun rises this morning. This is up in Prescott, courtesy of Embry-Riddle. This is their helipad here, but you can see that same orange pinkish glow and just a few clouds helping make for some pretty colors for their sunrise as well. Temperatures also gorgeous this morning. We've had a few more cities drop into the 60s now as we're right near that sunrise hour. 69 in Chandler and Gilbert. Santan Valley dipping down into the upper 60s. So has Glendale. Buckeye, even further of a drop down to the mid-60s. 66 degrees for you right now, and the rest of the valley all in the 70s. So it is a gorgeous start to this Sunday morning. I hope that at the very least you open some windows, give the AC a break for a little while, and take in that fresh air. More 60s to our south in Casa Grande, 61 in Safford this morning, 69 in Ajo. We've got 70s off to our west, up to our north. We're still in the 50s in Prescott this morning. North of the rim, more 50s in Winslow, Heber, and Show Low. The Grand Canyon, 36 degrees to start off this morning. So in several cities across the state, we are cooler today than we were this time yesterday by about 5 degrees in Sedona, 3 degrees cooler in Prescott. It's actually just a little warmer in Show Low this morning by 5 degrees, but here in the valley, we're 2 degrees cooler than we were at this time 24 hours ago. And the great news is our warm up is going to be gradual today. Even though we are going to get hot once again, we'll stay in the 70s a little longer today through that 8 o'clock hour. It's going to be 9 o'clock before we're even at 84 degrees. And then it's going to take us until 11 to warm into the low 90s. At noon, we'll still be in the mid 90s, but we will work our way to the century mark today. 102 is that forecast high across much of the valley. Remember, our average for this time of year, 96 degrees. So we're still running hot, but we are starting to trend down finally. So we'll see that high of 102 mostly across the southern portion of the valley in Goodyear, Laveen, Chandler, Queen Creek, and then 101 degrees in Tempe, Mesa, Glendale, and Peoria, 90s in Anthem and Cave Creek. Statewide view, 90s and triple digits to our south. We'll stay in the 90s in Safford, Globe, and Tucson, and then triple digits in Casa Grande, Yuma, Lake Havasu City, warming to 102, same temperature for Bullhead City. 90s in Sedona today, upper 80s, close to 90 degrees in Prescott and Payson, but still feeling nice and comfortable up there. And north of the rim, really great temperatures. Flagstaff, 80 degrees today. For you, we'll also be in the mid 80s in Show Low. We're going to have mostly clear skies statewide. We will see a few clouds pass in and out, and we could see some haze move in later this afternoon because of the wildfires off to our west. But for the most part, we stay clear. We'll also see breezy conditions to our north again. At times in Flagstaff, we could see gusts around 20 miles an hour. Same in Show Low. Here in the valley, our breezes will stay right around 5 degrees until about dinner time, and then they'll pick up a little bit stronger, closer to 10 miles an hour, but still relatively calm. As for our temperatures, we stay in the low 100s to kick off the work week. By Tuesday, we're close to those double digits as we see the end of monsoon on Wednesday. No rain in the forecast, but our temperatures finally are staying on the lower end of triple digits, so it's only a matter of time before we start seeing more 90s cycle in there. But the big thing to look for this week, those morning lows. When you wake up Wednesday morning, we'll be in the low 70s, which means even more valley cities like today will be in the 60s. That's the day to keep your eye on, and we'll stay cooler with those morning lows through the end of the week.
All right, now, hey, thank you so much. 6:19 now on your Sunday morning. Still ahead, how Arizona plans to handle a rollout of a coronavirus vaccine. But next, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is right around the corner, and today a Valley doctor shares the importance to keep up on those mammograms. We'll have that all-important information straight ahead.
Because of COVID-19, the last place that a lot of people want to be is at the hospital or in a doctor's office, but there are still very important annual health screenings that you do still need to have done. And we're looking ahead to next month as it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So joining us this morning to focus specifically on mammograms and breast health is Dr. Richard Sharp from Mayo Clinic. Dr. Sharp, thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So is there concern that women are skipping their mammograms during this pandemic, and why is that a danger if so?
Yes, we do hear from some women that they are skipping their annual mammograms or planning to do so, or that they're nervous about coming in for care. And what we want to assure everyone is that breast cancer does not take a break because of the COVID pandemic. We now know enough about the virus to take appropriate precautions to keep you safe when you come in for your breast cancer screening. At every step of your care experience, we were taking appropriate measures to screen you for breast cancer effectively and also keep you safe.
Yeah, what are some of the things you can expect when you do come in for an appointment now that might be a little different, might look a little different?
During your arrival, you'll have to answer some health check questions to understand whether you're having any cough or new symptoms. We'll check your temperature, and we won't let as many visitors into the building as we might have done in the past. Once you check in, you'll notice there are fewer appointments. We have fewer patients in the area because we have fewer appointments, and we have more physical distancing. So reminders about keeping that important 6 feet away from other people. The care team, you'll notice we all have personal protective equipment, masks, goggles, lots of hand washing, gloves, and aggressive sanitizing. At the Mayo Clinic, we actually have cards that show this room has been appropriately sanitized as a reminder for the patient that we're doing extra to keep them safe.
Yeah, some extra peace of mind, because getting a mammogram can be kind of a nerve-wracking instance, especially if you're going for your first one. The recommendations over the years have changed a bit. So what are the updated recommendations? Who needs to be getting an annual mammogram?
Absolutely. We recommend every woman who's over age 40 to be getting an annual mammogram. This is incredibly important. If there's going to be a cancer, we want to find it early, before it grows, before it spreads. Tomosynthesis, or called 3D mammography, is a powerful improvement over regular mammography, and we're recommending that annually to women as well. So everyone over 40, as long as you would, continue to get any treatment for it, keep getting your mammograms.
And in the meantime, whether you're in that age group or if you're younger, breast self-exams also equally important. How often should you be doing those, and what are we looking for?
A lot of women like to do breast self-exams. They like to do them in the same setting every time. You want to establish it as part of your routine. Make it a habit. If you're going to do breast self-exams, tell yourself that every Sunday in the shower you're going to examine the breast, and then note any changes that you experience and report those to your doctor.
We know that we are so fortunate to have the Mayo Clinic here in town because you guys are on the cutting edge of research. So are there any new techniques or technologies that are being looked at Mayo Clinic when it comes to breast cancer and breast health?
Yes, absolutely. So we know that 3D tomosynthesis is something that over the last few years has been spread to the community. We're rapidly developing techniques for molecular breast imaging, particularly for those women that have dense breast tissue. We can use a radioactive tracer and look for cancers that might be hiding in their breast tissue density. And we're also developing contrast-enhanced mammography. Only a few sites around the country have it. And we frankly do quite a bit of contrast mammography. And we have studies where we're evaluating its efficacy. And we're seeing amazing improvement over regular mammography. It might find 3, 4, 5, 6 times more cancers than conventional mammography alone.
Wow, that's stunning. And one thing that we do know when it comes to any form of cancer, but particularly breast cancer, is that early detection is key. And so anything to hone in on that and catch it and treat it early is definitely invaluable to the community. Dr. Sharp from the Mayo Clinic, thank you so much for your guidance and for the reminder for women to continue with their health checks, even in this time when you might be nervous about it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, coming up, where can you get both a flu shot and a COVID-19 test, all from the safety of your car? And great news for the more than 19,000 foster children in our state. We'll be right back.